we find out that Phase 4 is ending with Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. And like I said, I was very worried about this movie. Yep. Shout out for Queen Shuri there. Yes. And I was worried about this film just because of the production. I was worried whether Boseman was still here or not. I still was going to be worried. Like, could they really nail a sequel to such a big film? Yeah. And I got to say, after seeing that trailer, a lot of people saying it was messing with them, and I was like, all right, this is a trailer, y'all. But I watched it. Yeah, I was getting some feels, man. It was getting.
I thought it was me. I thought it was like the wuss in here. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that trailer fucked me up.
All I gotta say is Angela Bassett. That's all I gotta say.
Oh man,
that scene. You know what? I really
was like Angela Bassett got me going.
You know, that scene where Angela is like, "You took my family."
Like, my family's gone, and I need. Yeah, I was like, yo.
She's like, I need everything.
Bro, I broke down because I was like, holy shit. And I was just like, I'm starting to think, and now I don't know how true this is, but I think they're about to make, or at least they're leading that, we know that Chadwick died, but since now his mom is the queen, was she Black Panther at one point?
She was adorable. Oh, that's actually a good question. I didn't even think about that.
That's what I think they're leading into. I'm not saying she's Black Panther. I'm saying that during maybe a short term of his absence, she took on that mantle. And man, that scene right there, oh God, it fucked me up. But when we see, I'm glad you brought this picture up. This scene right here. I just left Wakanda. That's Shuri. I really believe that is Shuri.
I think it's Shuri.
Look at the calves.
I'm telling you. Do not let this fool. I'm telling you that is Shuri. The hands are too small. I really think that's Shuri. I could be wrong, but I don't believe that's a man.
I don't think that's a male either. Yeah, that's not a dude's figure.
I mean, if you think about the trailer too, though, like that moment where she like comes down to that little like chamber where they like building all the gadgets and stuff, and she dabs up that girl that we don't know who that is yet.
That's Ironheart.
Ironheart. Ironheart. Yes, that's the same thing that Chadwick did in the first one. He went down there and was dapping her up, like, okay, yeah, I'm Black Panther. She in that same spot.
Give me my shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's one of those outreaches that they created at the end of the film, and it seems like it's going to get attacked. And I think someone's like setting up a war between Wakanda and Atlantis. It's I'm guessing either Zemo or Dr. Doom. Those are my two picks on that one.
Well, is Zemo locked up?
Exactly. He was locked up. Yeah, he was locked up in Civil War too, and he fucked some shit up.
Yeah, but he got out. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Critic, how you feeling, man?
All right, Lupita is so sexy. You know what I'm saying? Rest in peace, Dorothy Steele. That's the elder. She died at 95. She was in the room. She's actually still in the movie though. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful costumes as always. The funeral scene was beautiful. Seeing Shuri, the way Letitia was just crying, that messed me up. You know what I'm saying? Like the way somebody was just holding her, those were real tears of her thinking about Chadwick. You know, there's no, I need to think about my grandmother. I need to think about my mother. No, that was real tears. At first, I thought the baby that was being born underwater for some weird reason was T'Challa's kid because I was hearing rumors about that. But that was Namor. That was Namor. And then when they jumped on the ship, that was like a finding. I think they were trying to find like the Atlanteans. You know what I mean? Ironheart is thick. I'm toxic. She's 25, so it's all good. Did you see Namor's bloomers? Namor had the Tully Blanchett, Ric Flair fighting Dusty Rhodes 85 bloomers. Crazy. Angela Bassett's speech, dope. Ironheart's armor, cool. Dope. I can't wait. At first, I wasn't ready for it. After Chadwick passed, I thought it was going to be trash. This pulled me back in. I'm good.
Hey, real quick, I got to shout this out, though, because I know he produced like a lot of the music in the first Black Panther. But having Kendrick Lamar's All Right switch in was everything. And I mean, it was slowed down to perfection. It's like you know they be taking clips of like different songs and it just slowed up. Like I mean, legit. When it came in, I felt that it just heightened this trailer up like 10 times.
That's my favorite album. Is the Black Panther album is dope.
Yep, absolutely.
Josh, your thoughts?
Well, I gotta say, I was also pretty scared of this movie before the trailer because now that Chadwick is no longer with us, I was like, there's no way they can pull this sequel off without him. But after seeing that trailer, you can tell that this is made with love for him. And a lot of the shots in the trailer, a lot of the moments, Shuri crying and then her building her armor, a lot of those emotional moments hits. Angela Bassett's speech, I almost started crying after watching the trailer because it's emotional. And I love the first Black Panther, and it's one of my favorites in the MCU, if not in my top 10. But this, man,
it's hard to bet against Ryan Coogler. I agree. It's hard to bet against Ryan Coogler.
It's hard to bet what Atlanta did to Brian too, man.
It's emotional watching the trailer, and it's going to be a hell of emotional with a lot of people in November.
Yeah. Wally, how you feeling about the return of your favorite character?
Who's my favorite character?
It's on screen.
Oh wow! I'm not gonna say what everybody is thinking right about now. I'm really not gonna say.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I mean, I was worried he wasn't gonna be in it, to be honest.
I had to change
So, I'm glad he'll be there. It's good to feel represented. I mean, it is.
I know, right? Right? You know how it feels, right? Like,
I know.
You're so fucked up for that.
I'm so glad.
Yeah.
I was concerned. I really was.
You want my actual opinion? Obviously this is a good trailer. I remember when they announced the sequel not long after Chadwick passed away, and you and I were talking, and there's a video on your channel of it where like my biggest worry was like how do you make a sequel? Like how is that even possible without Black Panther? And like obviously it's a legacy in the comics, but like how do you do it? Like there's so many difficulties of like how do you honor a man who actually died in real life? How do you make him dying on screen or going away on screen, whatever you decide to do, like good? Like how do you do that?
How you pull it off?
And I don't know if I have confidence that it's going to be good, and I have all the confidence in Ryan Coogler as well as all of the other actors on set that this entire movie was made with Chadwick in mind, obviously, and I'm sure it's going to pay homage and honor his legacy. I still feel like it's going to be hard to watch without him, though.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you're going to feel the absence of him, and I'm sure. Well, I think that the hardest part is like, what are they going to do with his character? Genuinely.
I don't know how y'all feel, but I feel they need to recast. I think they're going to take their time with it.
I think what they're going to do. Yeah. And my dad and I actually talked about this earlier. I think they're going. Have you read The Death of Captain Marvel in comics?
With the cancer?
Yeah, where he died of cancer.
Yeah, the original Captain Marvel. Yeah, with
the original Captain Marvel, Marvel, and he died of cancer.
Yeah.
And the whole point of that story was, no matter how super you are, cancer can do you in.
Mm-hmm.
Cancer is the ultimate evil. I wonder if they're going to try and adapt that a little bit.
I didn't even think about that.
Since they can't do it with that character, I wonder if they're going to try and use that a little bit and really Yep, because unfortunately he did pass away of cancer.
From cancer, yeah. That's a good theory.
So I wonder if they're gonna put that in the movie and basically just have it be like a big like fuck you cancer, like really.
Yeah.
To answer what you said about recasting and stuff like that, like when he died, I remember I did a live stream about it. I never really worried about how they were going to move forward with Black Panther 2 because I trust Marvel and Ryan Coogler. They did originally have a script with Chadwick in the movie. They had plans with him continuing the franchise. I think though it is fair to say when you're going into the movie, like how are they going to tell this story without him being there? But I do feel as though, I mean, I don't know how y'all really felt, but when I watched the movie, I never felt like Chadwick wasn't there.
Mm.
I just didn't feel me personally. Now, obviously, he's physically not there, but I see it on the actor's face that they were making this with him in mind.
Right.
And that spirit was there. Now, to the point of recasting, I'm like, okay, I see where people make the point of like no actor is above the character in a sense, right? Like for instance, we have a million versions of Batman, right? Everybody under the sun has played Batman. We have a million versions of James Bond, right? So I get that narrative. But I think the reason why in this case is a little bit different, we never had another version of Black Panther, and Chadwick did a really good job. And come to find out that he died from cancer, and when he was making this movie, he was trying to make this movie for a lot of Black kids and other kids who were struggling with the same thing while having cancer.
Yeah.
And for Kevin Feige to recast him, I think from a business decision wise, I think it would have been a lot more hell than, help. I think they really wanted to make this movie to honor him while telling, furthering the story of Wakanda. So I that's why I kind of agree with them not miscast or recasting him, because after Chadwick, whoever they put in that role,
Chadwick is T'Challa.
Chadwick is T'Challa.
Yeah,
if they put someone else as T'Challa, I couldn't believe it. I just couldn't do it. But yeah,
because you would know.
Yeah, exactly. Because you really think about it, Chadwick, the way he played T'Challa, you bought him as a character. And to add to what Momentum is saying, the fact that yes, we do have different actors of James Bond. We do have different actors who play Superman. We do have different actors who play Spider-Man. We've had different versions of 007.
Superman. Yeah.
But in this case, I do understand why some people felt they should recast it. But at the same time, I am going to side with Kevin Feige and the producers, because to recast that role would have a lot of people, most of the majority, be very upset, because Chadwick, he put everything he had into it, even though he was dying from colon cancer at the time. He put everything he got into it. And I think it's best if they just, whatever they choose to do with his character in the movie, how they're gonna do it, just leave it as they are and not disrespect his legacy by recasting him. But I can see why some people are for the recast of T'Challa. But I think on my case, my point of view, it doesn't matter who you cast, you're not going to top Chadwick. There's no way.
Yeah, I agree with that. Crit, go ahead, Crit.
Yeah, so I do hear everyone's sentiment, because that's what my sentiment was at first. I was like, you can't, like Chadwick is a legend to this character. But then I thought back on it, like, and everybody, and even when I started to change my mind, and I'm thinking about Black Panther, and people be like, well, Black Panther is never going to be lost because it's a mantle. It's always going to be passed on. But the thing is, one thing about Kal-El or Superman or Clark Kent, when Christopher Reeves got paralyzed, I felt some type of way that there was another Superman. But guess what?
You had murder beef with Dean Cain. What you telling
yeah, oh, wow. Somewhat, but I didn't even watch it. I didn't even watch that version of Superman, to be honest. Mm-hmm. But to be honest with you, T'Challa, the character, is going to be lost forever. Now, unless they have a child named T'Challa, but that child, you can always have Black Panther, but T'Challa is going to be gone. We're not going to hear from him anymore unless you watch the old Black Panther movies or read the comic book where T'Challa is alive now. I believe. I don't know if they killed him off yet. Yeah, but the thing is, he's alive. See, but that character is gone forever. Now the mantle will be around, but the character T'Challa is going to be forgotten, unfortunately. Isn't it? Because Steve Rogers is always going to be around. Kal-El, Bruce Wayne, everybody's going to be around continuously, but T'Challa's going to be lost, man. And I feel like that's a shame.
And real quick, just to add on what you said, because you hit exactly where I was about to go with it, with Steve Rogers. I feel like for me, given where all the MCU's been for the first 3 phases, because Tony Stark, RDJ, that's he top 3 favorite MCU character for me. Mm-hmm. And again, a lot of people feel that way about Captain America, and I see why. Yeah. At this point, I'm not gonna say, God forbid anything ever happen to either of those two. I know technically they're out of the MCU, but everyone can always come back into the MCU. I would never buy another person as Iron Man or Captain America ever at all, because it's they've done so much for that character to this point. Mm-hmm. It's I just couldn't buy it. So for me, the next logical step is to have Shuri, because it's it makes sense not only for the confines of the story, but it makes sense based on reality. Because it's this is a loss, a genuine loss. Mm-hmm. And so you have to actually intertwine that into the story. I think this is probably going to be one of the best performances that a lot of these people are going to have in a while, because you have to dig deep and go to a place of actual pain and loss to actually deliver to this. Because if they got anybody to play T'Challa, not saying that person wouldn't be genuine in the performance that they're going to deliver, I just couldn't get the image of Chadwick Boseman out of my head. I'm that's just not it.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, and I think to that point, real quick, I'm not going to spend too long, but to that point, even when Robert Pattinson got cast as Batman, people kept saying, "Oh, I can't picture him as Batman," and then we get the Batman.
Yeah, we get it.
The Batman was pretty good, but he was still being compared to Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton at age 90 is back as Batman. The fuck,
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Batman is still around, so
right. But every Batman, I mean, from Keaton to Kilmer to Clooney, they were all technically playing the same Bruce Wayne. But
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
Pretty much every other casting is technically a different Superman. It's a different James Bond, or it doesn't matter in the universe. And then that character or that actor wasn't replaced because they passed away. Mm-hmm. In this situation, Chadwick was T'Challa, and anyone who would come in and play T'Challa for the MCU would be replacing Chadwick. They're not playing an alternate version of T'Challa, which I think Brogi was going to mention that a theory, multiverse. Because I've heard
we got a little something called the Kang Dynasty. Yeah, you know about Kang. You like to fuck with timelines. Yeah, we are clearly in the multiverse side. And we also called Secret Wars, which also played with the multiverse. Of various multiverse stuff, we might run into a random version of T'Challa, and I think there's going to be some weird, unification of the different multiverses, and we might end up with a new T'Challa. I think that would probably, that's just a theory. If they do it, I don't know if they are going to do it, but I'm saying there's a possibility to do it.
I think they're more likely at this point to bring back Killmonger and just make him good.
Hey,
now if they do that, I didn't
say it was a good idea, but as opposed to doing a new T'Challa, they might be all right, well,
we can bring Killmonger.
I'm okay with that if they bring back T'Challa, him as a good person. Yeah, instead of bringing a new T'Challa. If that were the debate,
I think if they did that, that's what they would do.
Right. Or they don't even have to do T'Challa. He could be like Critical said. It could be an alternate universe version of T'Challa's son, who happens to be an adult. He comes in, he takes over the mantle. They could do that too.
They can bring in the ultimate universe Steve Rogers.
There could be some truth to that theory, though.
Don't you fucking don't. No, you're not doing that. You're not doing that. You're not doing that. He said they could break in the ultimate version of Black Panther. In the ultimate universe, Black Panther was Captain America in the disguise as Black Panther. That's what
that was stupid. Yeah, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
Black Panther couldn't talk, right? But then he have his throat.
There was also T'Challa was also there.
Yeah,
T'Challa did exist in that universe.
There could be some truth to that theory because Wakanda Forever is the last film in Phase 4. Yep. So however that movie plays out, it's going to wrap up Phase 4 and then introduce us into Phase 5. And then we ultimately don't know who's in that Black Panther suit. Now, I do think it's Shuri.
I think
it could be an alternate version of Chadwick. If they do that, I personally think that would be the royally screwing us. In my opinion, only because Phase 4 has not been all that great, and you're going to give us potentially the most culturally important movie of this year, and you're going to give us a new Chadwick, or excuse me, a new T'Challa from the multiverse that's already been fucked up in some films and universe. I don't know if that's a good play.
Right. So that's why I said Phase 6.
I don't know if that's wise.
That's why I said Phase 6. They can drag it out, give it a little time, and then pop it on us. I'm just saying. That's just my theory. But
did you have that Boss Logic picture of Hydra Cat?
If Shuri takes over as Black Panther, I think it's much easier because either way, whether it's a multiverse, T'Challa or Shuri, you're putting yourself in a no-win-win situation.
Yeah, and they might have to recast Shuri.
Really?
Yeah. Well, okay.
So
Go. She's been a PR nightmare for them.
So this is the thing I was bringing up. So on Twitter, there was the post where Letitia Wright was like, "Yeah, it was rough for us. It was a tough time to film the movie on set because there was a lot of stuff we had to get through, and there was a lot of reports and rumors that because it was the height of COVID and the COVID restrictions, she was very anti getting the shot, and that caused some issues with them filming on the set. So there's been talks that they might even recast Shuri. So I don't know.
I mean, keep in mind she did there reports though she did get hurt on set multiple times. Now I don't know how true that is.
Exactly.
Also we don't know if she not wanting to get the shot. I don't know if that's really been confirmed yet. But a lot of major trades were saying that, like what Brogi said, that she was essentially a problem child on the set because she did not want to get the shot. Now I don't think they're gonna not cast her because of that reason, but then again, I could be wrong. It is Disney.
So. Her body, her choice. Hey, you can't recast my baby, god dog it. Her body, her choice, goddamn it.
Yeah.
That's my damn sure.
Facts. So I'm just breaking that up. But anyway.